So during my morning prayer, I received somewhat of a download that I'd like to share, because I'm starting to realize that these downloads that I have, or whatever you want to call them, these revelations, realizations, whatever, I'd imagine that I'm not the only person in the world that needs to hear, these things that come to me. So I would like to share what it is that I learned. And it seems so simple, but the message was, be the change that you want to see. And also, that was the message in itself. But so the backstory is, I have been going through, for the past several months, 2025 really, where I am getting rid of a lot of old stuff in order to make room for new, better upgrades. So, getting out of relationships and things like that don't serve me, jobs that don't serve me, etc. Just really upgrading and enhancing my life. And before doing that, you have to get rid of those things, or part ways rather with those things that are no longer serving you, in order to create space for the new, better things. So whenever you get to that point where you're ready to start welcoming in the new things, it sounds silly, but I had a moment where I was like, okay, I'm ready. Like, where are my manifestations? What's next? And it dawned on me, like, they're sitting right here, but I've not done anything to claim them or obtain them. So, especially as women, I hear this thing all the time, you don't chase, you attract, da-da-da-da-da. And I get that. I think it's really important to be in this magnetic, attractive energy. But the point of that is to attract opportunities, and then to take on those opportunities. Opportunities typically don't just fall in your lap and then unfold magically. There has to be some sense of initiative, direction. What's that word called? Action, etc. So I'm like, okay, well, I have all these opportunities here now. I've opened myself up. I've attracted these amazing opportunities, but it's almost like I've been still just waiting for them to kind of happen. And so the advice is you've learned enough, you've consumed enough. You've sat back, watched, planned, analyzed the situation. You know what you want, but now you have to move forward. It's like upgrading your energy from a student. Upgrading your energy from a student, someone who's observing, taking in information, so on and so forth, to someone who is, I'm not going to necessarily say a teacher, but someone who's not just sitting back and watching and learning. You've learned enough, now's the time to start doing. And it's so simple and so straightforward, but it's the truth. And I think some of us really struggle with stagnation, or fear, and I think it's really important during that in-between stage where you've gotten rid of the things that aren't serving you and now you're thinking about what serves you. I think that it's also really important to think about, what's holding me back from going after what it is that I want, which can be a plethora of things. Fear entails so much. And so for me, I was watching a video the other day that mentioned, something about past lives, and our biggest fears in this current day and time are the things that we may have been struggling with lifetime after lifetime, or some sort of demise may have occurred based on the fears that we have or whatever. So I was honestly thinking about the fears that I have. And there are two fears that I have. One of them is heights, which I don't think has any damn thing to do with what I have going on. The other fear, which some may laugh at, but it's the fear of being seen and heard. I have always been a very shy, self-kept person. I just stay the heck out of the way. I don't want anyone to look at me. I don't want anyone to talk to me. I quite literally stay out of the way. And I've had to do a lot of introspection, healing regarding that matter, because I'm sitting here realizing like my fear of being seen, of being heard, has caused me to miss out on an immeasurable amount of opportunities this 28 years that I've been alive. I mean, since I was little up until recently, I've had that fear. I just kind of like, I stay ghosted, and I realized that I got to a point where it's like, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of hiding. Like, what am I hiding for? Well, insecurities and fears, etc., etc. So, it does come down for me, like your self-worth, your acceptance, self-acceptance, self-love, which is a whole effing journey in itself. Yes. So there's steps to this, But then it's like, once you get to this place where it's like, oh, I'm confident, like I'm really confident in myself, I really love myself, I accept myself, it's like, well, I don't care what other people think, and if I'm a bother or takes offense to me, it's not my problem. I've done enough work. If you have things that you need to work on, then work on them, of course. But I'm a very genuine person. I'm very kind, very gentle, very compassionate, very patient, very open-minded, non-judgmental. I have a lot of really beautiful qualities about me. And I don't feel that I ever intentionally step on anyone's toes. But the type of person that I am, it's like people either really love me or really hate me. And I don't know exactly what that's about. I feel that I have a very strong presence. I do. And I've never really known what to do about it. So I kind of just, like I said, stay out of the way. I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to offend anybody by anything. You know what I mean? So I just stay out the way. But then I reached a point where it's like, I'm like actually not the problem. I'm actually not the problem, and the problem is me withholding myself from situations, trying to please everything and everybody, but then in doing that, I'm shorting myself really wonderful opportunities with work, career, love, relationships, whether that be romantic, platonic, familial, travel, so on and so forth. So I think it's really important to analyze what your fears are and to start working on them in order to release them. That's a part of the release too, letting go of the things that aren't serving you. Fear does not serve you. And fear only has power if you give it power. So I guess that's really the message, release that fear. Learn to love yourself and put yourself out there. Do whatever it is that makes you happy. And I would definitely detach from any expectations that you have around the outcome. So, for example, you're into making music production, or, you play an instrument or you sing or whatever. Don't create with the intention of like, oh, all these people are going to like love this and it's going to make me rich and famous, da 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 da. I think the question is this going to make me happy? Am I happy doing this? Why am I making music? Is it a release? Is it a form of expression? I think that your intentions need to be in aligned with your values, of course, who you are as a person, but it ultimately comes down to what makes you happy, not always how people are going to perceive you. Just do you, boo. Just do you, unapologetically so, in a way that makes you feel liberated and happy and, without seeking of others. And I think as human beings, it is a very innate characteristic or behavior, rather, that we have where, we're just seeking human connection. Humans tend to thrive better in group settings or in community or whatever. There is a need for human connection, of course. But I think that sometimes people get a little confused about what human connection is supposed to look like. And, codependency gets involved, people pleasing gets involved, this need for validation gets involved. If that is the case, then you need to separate from that. Learn to be happy being alone. Figure out exactly who you are, what it is that you want, what makes you happy, what do you like, what do you not like, what type of people do you want to surround yourself around. Obviously, of course, becoming that person. But it's totally okay to rock solo until you get it all figured out. Otherwise, it's like there's this reliance on people for these things that you could provide for yourself. Please bear with me because my mind goes a million miles a minute and sometimes I get a little disorganized, but hopefully this is making sense. But what I'm trying to say is I think that there is a really large group of us that we've been sitting back, watching, learning, healing, and now is the time to take what we've learned thus far and to put some action behind it. I have been a perfectionist for a very long time, and I've had to learn to release that. In addition to releasing, well, I guess it kind of intertwines together, this need for absolute control. Planning, being meticulous, being calculated about everything, and then being like, in return, overly critical. So then it's kind of like counterproductive because you're actually not getting anything done because you're being too strict and too, controlling. So a really big part of it is about releasing that control and learning that things don't have to be perfect and that it's not about what everyone else wants or what everyone else thinks and feels. I definitely like to take other people into consideration, but I am a priority also. And I'm going to do what I want with respect to myself and others, of course. Integrity, honesty, all those really wonderful qualities. But yeah, you've learned enough. You've consumed enough. You've healed enough to where, no one's ever fully done doing those things, of course. But you have enough to where you can move forward and make something out of what you've learned thus far. I think I had this idea in my head too, that whenever you start doing something, everything just happens like instantaneously. So, okay, if I make music and I post it, then like, it's just going to be this big thing right off the bat. You know what I mean? But it's like, you have to enjoy like the little things in between. Like, learn to just create, learn to just be, stop being so focused on the outcome to the point that you're missing like all the cool, I'm going to say cool for lack of better terminology at this point, but other important things, so on and so forth, that are in between, starting and finishing. That's the fun part. That's what they say. I guess that's what they mean when they say finding joy in the journey. But you have to start somewhere. You can't just sit back and keep taking in information. Like, I feel that you'll implode or be counterproductive or whatever. Like, just start somewhere, put yourself out there, whatever it is that you like to do, whether that's art or making music or gardening. I mean, literally anything, creating videos, whatever the case may be. Just start somewhere. For me, I'm a writer. I love writing, and I also love film, but I don't really have a lot of professional experience regarding those things. And I thought that I kind of like had to, and you really don't. You do not. You just do what you're passionate about. And if I'm passionate about writing and creating, then I need to stop sitting back and waiting for the perfect opportunity, and so do you. And you need to just do it. You need to just do what makes you happy, because it's going to pay off in the long run. It's going to pay off now. F the long run, like now it's going to pay off, and you're going to feel so good that you actually took initiative towards something that you've been wanting to do for such a long time. Releasing fear is like releasing bricks that you've been carrying around on your freaking shoulders for freaking forever. Like, all it does is weigh you down and hold you back and prevent you from fulfilling, this potential that lies within you. So yeah, time to start eliminating fear and time to start doing. So that's the message. Very short, very sweet. Hopefully it made sense. Yeah. Peace.